everyone. You're listening to The Elisa Fucci Show. I'm your host, Elisa Fucci. I'm a motivational speaker, podcaster, an international best-selling book author, relationship life coach, and certified breathwork detox facilitator. They say real love takes work. Let me and experts from all over the world help you make being in a relationship fun and easy. Hello. Welcome everyone to today's podcast episode. Today has been such a beautiful day here in Vegas. The weather is perfect and I'm just so happy to be alive. I'm so happy that I have worked through so many things in my life that I get to be here today. I cannot state this enough of the importance of really doing the inner work. And what I mean about the inner work is taking the time to look inward whenever we are annoyed, whenever we are frustrated, whenever we are throwing a pity party or throwing a tantrum, whenever our feelings are hurt, whenever you, in other words, are activated or triggered or someone pushes your buttons, like I cannot emphasize how important it is for you to take the time to slow down and really check within when these things happen, because it is the source of so much wisdom, the source of healing, the reason to not the reason, but like the way to letting go, the way to letting go of the past um and letting go of those those limiting, not limiting beliefs, but those reoccurring patterns in your life that you don't like, maybe in your relationships, things that you do in your marriage that you're like, oh, I hate that about our marriage, or I hate that I do that every time, and you can't seem to get to stop doing that, or maybe things that you do in your relationship with your kids, whatever that is, like and you notice that you don't like that, whether it is like that people pleasing or ending up like putting yourself, so that means like putting yourself last and saying yes to other people, and then you set yourself a goal and you're like, no, I'm going to start saying no, I'm going to put boundaries, and slowly you start creeping up those yeses and you end up like people pleasing again. Those kind of patterns, or the patterns that are maybe more destructive, like the self-sabotaging patterns, where you find yourself setting up a goal to lose weight, and then slowly you stick to it for a few weeks, and then slowly you start saying, oh, but I'm too busy, so I'm going to put that last. Well, let's go eat out, and well, I don't want to say no in front of everybody because I want to be like part of the group, I don't want to feel left out, and you say yes to that. And slowly you stop taking care of yourself and stop saying yes to yourself, to your goals, and you put yourself last. It could be those kind of patterns, or the kind of patterns where um, you want to be more strict with your children, or you want to say have a routine, and you set it all up. And I remember doing this, and then all of a sudden you find yourself slowly like forgetting your routine, and life is chaotic again, and you're like, oh my gosh, how did I get from having a schedule to now not knowing what to do? I cannot emphasize how important it is to really take the time to to pick at those emotions whenever they come up. And I was going to do a podcast on something else, but I feel really inclined to talk about this. And this came because of my daughter, and something she had to, she was experiencing. She was frustrated with something in her group of friends. And I I wanted to help her process her emotions, and I wanted her to get her emotions out. I wanted her to learn how to listen to herself, validate herself without me doing it. I wanted her to be guided through what it is to heal your inner child. And even though she's still a child, at least in my eyes, um, she can still start doing this work because I wasn't a perfect mom. And my husband wasn't a perfect father. So there's things that she will eventually need to heal. But I wanted her to learn the tools that have helped me and that might be able to help you, that again will help you heal your inner child, will help you detach yourself from the current emotion and actually take action from the adult version of yourself, and not from the childlike reaction that was generated as a self defense mechanism years ago. I want you to learn to detach so then you can actually take decisions from an adult uh, self, from who you really are today and not who you were years ago as a child. Um, so I was helping my daughter and I pretty much broke it down into 3 steps. That's it. Because again, when I'm trying to help my daughter, I want to keep it super simple and very manageable. So the first thing I want to encourage you. So what are the biggest triggers in your life? If you think about it, it's usually your children, your job, your boss, coworkers, or family members, mom, dad, sisters, if you're really close to them. It could also be, and your spouse, your significant other. Obviously, those are like the our biggest triggers, and they are the biggest source of of learning and growth and self-awareness. So don't overlook that because it is so valuable, the information you can get from being in those relationships that, yes, they trigger you, but you can use them to, again, learn to validate yourself, tap into your emotions, tap into your body, heal your inner child, and move forward and let go of the past. So valuable. And it's 3 simple steps. That's it. Okay. I really broke it down because if my 13-year-old daughter can do it, you can too. Okay. So once you find what is triggering you, what is pushing your buttons, what is one situation or one person that is irritating the hell out of you, think about that person, bring it up to your awareness. When was the last time you felt irritated or triggered or felt hurt or pain around this person? Think about that time. Was it this morning? Was it yesterday? Was it a week ago? Anything within the past 18 months or so. Think about that. Anything like that. And once you have that awareness, once you have brought it up, you know, oh, it was yesterday. It was something that this person said or did. I they said something I that made me feel angry. Let's go with what my daughter was feeling. She felt angry because of something someone said, and she overheard it, and it was geared towards her. It was about her. So she was full of anger and frustration. And what I had her do was, number one, here goes, as give a mic to that emotion. If you could just picture like the angry little you, the angry little version of you, the angry version of you or the sad version of you, whatever the emotion is, okay? If you could see her and you would give her the microphone or that whatever it is, that speaker, what I can't think, that whatever it is that you use to amplify your voice. I can't think of that device. Okay. I can picture it, but I can't figure it out. So if you could give her that microphone without judging her, you're just going to let her spill everything, get it all out of her. What would she say about why she's angry? And I asked her, okay, what else? Well, I hate her. Okay, what else? I can't stand her. She's a liar. She's this, she's that. Like she went off. Okay. And I kept asking her, what else? What else does she have to say? And when she would forget, I would rephrase it and be like, okay, what is the angry version of you? Because it is not you. Make sure that you don't define yourself by this vibration, by this emotion that you're feeling. This is just your body. It does not define who you are. That's why I love emotions, because they don't define us. Okay. So once you have that, once you have the emotion, you give it a mic, once you're done speaking everything, then you can ask her, where does this come where does this come from? And for her, because she's still young, it went back to maybe a year ago, a circumstance that happened a year ago that her brain wanted to connect. So it was it was like if you could imagine a yarn, and we were just pulling at the little string until we got the big ball of yarn. And that big ball of yarn was a year ago when this anger started happening and originated. Where does this ball of yarn, where is the end, the big root of all this anger, this emotion come from? Ask her, ask your emotion, like, where is this coming from? You might go back years ago when you were little. You might go back to just a few years ago, a few months ago, right? Just let yourself be guided where that needs to go. And again, I did this with my daughter in a few minutes. You can do it too. And once she noticed that, and I'm like, okay, so that was where it all started. So that's where she's getting all this anger from. And the reason why you want to go back to that time is so you can separate yourself. That version of yourself is no longer you. That version of yourself is the older version of you, the younger version of you, the one that had less information than what you have now. So you can detach yourself from that. You're no longer her. You are now the adult. You have way more information than what you had when this emotion, this trigger was originated. Now, the next step, once you leave it all out, then you just want to ask yourself, how do you want to act? What do you think now? Actually, that's the last step. What do you think now? Once you get rid of all the emotions, once you, by naming it, by validating it, by going to the root, this will have diminished. Your vibration would have lowered by now. Okay. So then you can actually start sending blood to the prefrontal cortex, the middle, like the front part of your brain that's actually thinking, that thinks things through. And you can tap into that part of your brain. And that's where the adult part of you lives. That's where the one that can actually rationalize things. And you can ask that, okay, what do I think now about the situation? And it was amazing how she changed. She went from, I hate her, she's evil, right? All these big emotions for my daughter, to, she's nice. I like her. Like, right? She was talking about her friend, and she's like, she's actually she was a good friend, and she doesn't like, this has nothing to do with us. We had fun. And what else? What else? And I just kept asking her, what else? What else? And let her current self see things from from her current perspective without the emotion tainting her vision. Um, and it was all positive things. Some were like neutral, but they were no longer activated